Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast, the podcast where digital discussions, the worlds of pop culture, TV, films, social media, pro wrestling. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On Twitter, you know me as PD Beats. It's an exciting time for pro wrestling, specifically for one company, All Elite Wrestling, AEW. It's an exciting time for them as well. And we are currently speaking to a member of the AEW roster. He is a professional wrestler known as Darby Allin. Darby, welcome to Popternative.
Howdy. This time, I can hear you a lot better. I'm not in a car, so...
No,
I'm
absolutely.
sitting on my lovely couch with my lovely dog.
No, absolutely. Yeah, a little from behind the scenes kind of. We tried this before in a different scenery, aka your car, but this is gonna be a lot better.
Yeah, it's a lot more relaxing. I wasn't in traffic driving with crazy ass truck drivers all over the place.
No, absolutely. So, kind of. Icebreaker question. I mean, pro wrestling, when was that something that Darby Allin wanted to kind of do for a living? Like, when did that kind of spark your interest? Was it at a very young age?
Well, shit. I heard the question different last time because I was in the car. But this time, yeah, it makes more sense now. All right. I always thought like wrestling was captivating when I was like really young, and then I kind of not fell out of love, but I just stopped caring about it as much, and I started doing skateboarding. And I remember I was going to film school in Arizona before I dropped out, and I remember just being at this like indie show where there was just like some god awful fucking wrestlers, and I just thought to myself, if these guys are doing this in front of an audience, there's no reason I shouldn't. So I feel like at that moment, that's when I kind of was like, let's make a run for this and let's see how it is, because I didn't want to spend my young years behind the camera. I wanted to be in front of a camera. That's why. And plus, film school, they weren't letting me be me, so I dropped out.
Absolutely. And yeah, you're part of All Elite Wrestling AEW. The big news that just dropped is that starting October 2nd, you guys will be live on TNT. It's just an exciting time for pro wrestling and for Darby Allin as well with All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah, it's a real exciting time. A lot of people are going to be able to see a whole new brand of wrestling, and for myself, it means the world because, like I said earlier, I dropped out of film school because I wasn't being able to be myself. And now I get to be in national television with a wrestling company where they're like, here, motherfuckers, show us what you got.
Absolutely.
So it's exciting to tell my story the way I want to tell it.
Take us through kind of when the opportunity rose for you to be part of AEW. What was going through your mind, and why did you sign with All Elite Wrestling?
I signed with All Elite Wrestling because freedom, and that's hands down all I can say is freedom. I feel like in the one promo they let me be myself, and I cut on the road to Fyter Fest, did more for my career than the last 5 years I've been wrestling, and I feel like it also did way more than it could have ever if I was just at like NXT and they were just say, all right, you're gonna be this whatever creepy guy in a closet with smoke machines or whatever the hell. Like, they wouldn't let me. I don't feel like they would have captured me like AEW captured me, and that's just me myself. So
absolutely, it's no surprise whether it's AEW, even WWE and NXT, or the Indies and like Ring of Honor and Impact. Like, it is an amazing time for pro wrestling. What are some trends in pro wrestling? I know you don't watch pro wrestling, but like, why do you think pro wrestling is at an all time right now? Like, it's an amazing time. The last couple of years, it's been crazy.
Dude, I have no idea, to be honest. Shit. It got wild. thankfully, it's the time I was getting in because I've been in this for 5 years only right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have been crazy. I don't know. I don't know, man. I feel like people. I feel like people are seeing the indies and what the indies have to offer to wrestling as a whole, and that's getting exciting. And I feel like AEW's capturing the excitement the indies has, but on a national level.
Yeah.
So I feel like because WWE's always been around, obviously, but I feel like this whole steam of like crazy ass indie shows, everybody's like, you're gonna have a match of the year candidate every single week on the indies, compared to like Raw, where it's like, whatever.
Absolutely. It was Fyter Fest, an event where you fought Cody Rhodes, who is someone who is seen as a big player in pro wrestling right now, and you had the opportunity to fight him on the Fyter Fest stage. Was that kind of a match that was in kind of talks for a while? Did it just spontaneously was decided that you guys were going to fight at that event? How did that come to be?
I personally think at the time I was offered to go have a little thing for NXT, and I said no, I don't want to go there. It wasn't in my heart, and I feel like Cody recognized that, and I felt like he's like, this dude took it. Not saying, oh, this dude took a chance on us, but in a way, it's just like you're so used to everybody playing it safe and like, oh, I'll just go to WWE because that's what I grew up watching. That's, I want to be in that because that was like my childhood dream. But like to me, it was never about going to WWE. It was always about telling my story the way I wanted to tell my story. So I feel like Cody recognized that and was like, all right, let's fucking put this fucker on the stage with me and see what you got.
People kind of saw, like, I find like when NXT was like announced with WWE, because you mentioned that, so I gotta mention it. But like even like 205 Live, like those new kind of brands that WWE kind of put out, I felt like that kind of created a narrative in pro wrestling that was like there was like more opportunity, but it didn't really. But maybe that wasn't the case after all.
No, I don't feel like it's more opportunity for people who want to settle for less. It's more opportunity for people that don't give a shit about being on the main roster and being on the main card, being in the main event. Because it's something I've said before. You had this stigma where you had like WCW wrestlers back in the day when they were the cruiserweights and they were always the undercard. And then they were never going to be up here. And I feel like when I see 205 Live, I feel like these guys, they may be killing it, but what's the fucking point if you're not going to want to be in the main event of the pay-per-view? It's kind of like, here, settle for yet like less. You can do what you guys want to do, whatever, but you're never going to be here. And to me, as a human being, I'm not cool with that. Not cool with that. Like I said, I'm different from everybody else. People want to do that, more power to them. But for me, no, man, I want to look at my career and know that I fucking pushed the envelope as much as I could with myself, and I ain't going to settle for that shit.
Is different going to get Darby Allin to the top in professional wrestling?
Absolutely. I believe that not settling for less and not being the whole, gee, I'm just happy to be here, because I feel like that's the kiss of death to me as a performer. You take a lot of wrestlers who have killed it in the last couple of years, whether it be on a takeover or anything, and there's no reason they shouldn't be on the Monday Night Raw now, but I feel like just because they're so happy to just be there, WWE recognizes that and doesn't push the envelope with them, and then they're just sitting here in this black abyss forever.
Maybe not in the ring, but you mentioned WCW, so I have to bring it up. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know what people are saying. Oh, special guest.
Yeah, you keep talking.
That's awesome. Well, no, I just find maybe not like in ring style, but you're kind of like I hate it's kind of weird when I talk to wrestlers about their gimmick because I don't like doing that. But like your shtick is kind of it reminds me of like Sting and Raven from WCW.
Yeah, it's just me, to be honest. Like, I'm sure you've heard the story behind the face paint, but
Are you
me
allowed to
being
share? Can you share the story? Like I know about it, but can you share it? Is it is it too long to share? Do you think or?
No, it's not. It's like 30 seconds, if that. It's just
Okay.
being 5 years old, my uncle drunk driving and shit like that, and crashing the car when I was in it, and he passed away from that accident, and I'm still here. So 50% of me inside feels dead, and that's the respect and the trust for people. And it's kind of made me a loner all through my life. So I feel like in real life, I'm not one to go to company functions, and that made me sound like an asshole or a weirdo. But I literally feel most comfortable being alone or being with a small group of friends. But when you say like my character seems like a Raven or a Sting, yeah, like, but it just naturally just feels right to me. I don't.
But
feel
you
like
understand where those comparisons come from. Like if someone said that,
Absolutely.
you'd be like, yeah, like it makes.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I definitely get it. But to me, like, it feels just so natural. Like, I don't feel like I'm putting on an act when I come through that curtain. When I'm sitting in the corner of the ring before my matches, I'm meditating. I'm like planning like how I want everything to go, and I played it over in my mind of how I envision this match while I'm sitting in the corner. And it's just the thing to relax and chill the fuck out before you go to war. So.
You get to do pro wrestling as a full-time job though, and a lot of people get to do that. That's something definitely not to be taken for granted. A lot of hard work went into it, but it's just kind of like one can make an argument that that's a blessing for Darby Allin as well, right?
Yeah, but I feel like everything happens for a reason.
Yep.
You put 100% into this, you're gonna get 100% out. If you lie to yourself and you tell yourself, "I'm putting everything into it," and you're not eating right, you're not going to the gym, you're not practicing, and you sit here and you want to be a weekend warrior, but lie to yourself and lie to others, saying, "Oh, this is my 100%. I'm putting all my work into this. This is all I want." I'm like, quit fucking lying to yourself. You're wasting your time, and you're wasting everybody else's time. So I've never shied away from how much work I was going to put into this. And I was like I said, I lived in my car, and I was like, if I don't make it out of my car, I'm not trying that fucking hard in wrestling. So I lived in my car until I actually could like make it in wrestling. And I didn't want a second job where I had like something to fall back on, because when I tell you this is all I'm living for, I fucking mean it. I'm not saying it like all these jerk offs in Seattle that I know that say, "Oh, this is my whole career. This is all I live for." It's like, "Oh, what do you do?" I play video games all day and I don't train." I'm like, "All right, well, you're lying to yourself, man."
No, absolutely. Yeah. We're getting deep here with Darby Allin on Popternative.
I can't stand people who just tell me day in and day out, "This is all I'm living for," and yet they put in such little effort. It's mind-boggling. I don't know if it's because pro wrestling is considered a fake sport that they don't think they need to put in much work.
Yeah.
I don't get people's minds, because in the UFC or NFL, you get your ass knocked right down if you weren't as good as you say you are. But a lot of people, man, they're delusional bastards in wrestling.
So what do you say? What do you say to the people that say, "Hey, Darby Allin, I think wrestling is fake. Wrestling is a joke. It's fake. What you do is fake. It's not real. It's a joke." What do you say to those people?
Well, I say, look at your lives. People's lives and all life is fake. People's relationships, saying that they're married and they're happy with their wife, yet they're cheating on their freaking spouse, or people who are lying to their friends and, or lying and about trying to fit in with people, peer pressure. Everyone's fucking fake in life. Everybody's fake. So to me, wrestling's the real thing because when I get in there and I feel it the next morning, like my back being all fucked up, or anything, that's as real as it gets, you know. But all these people saying wrestling's fake, man, they should take a good look around and realize that this whole world's fucking fake.
I mean, the coffin drop, that's what I think they're calling it, eh? That against Cody Rhodes, off the mat there, the coffin drop.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, did you call it the coffin drop, or did people start calling it that?
I called it the coffin drop long time ago.
And it was something like people like I was like when we first like started doing this show, like we were in the car, we talked about like social media and wrestling social media is like insane sometimes, and everyone has all their opinions, and people like that became like a meme and a gif and everything. Like, what do you think about all that?
Oh, I don't know, man. I really I'm so tuned out from the world on like social media. Like people tag me and shit and be like, "Look at this dumbass," or "Look at this guy, look at that." Like I'm so tuned out and I don't pay attention because all that matters is my personal life with my wife and my fucking dog.
Your dog's awesome.
Yeah, like that's all that matters to me. So if you're tagging me, you're talking shit about me, it really doesn't get to me because I don't pay attention to anything. I'm such a recluse, like from the world. I don't care about people's opinion except mine.
No, for sure. Well, Darby, we'll wrap up, but thank you so much for coming on Pop Turn. I know we've been doing that. We wanted to do this for a long time, and we got it done. So thank you very much. And seriously, man, congrats for all the success you've had so far. I mean, you said it. 5 years you've been doing this, and you've accomplished so much already, and there's so much more that you're going to accomplish. And congrats to you and AEW with the TNT live show starting in October. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, man. Nothing's we're going to change the fucking world.
No, absolutely. And where can people follow you on social media? Like, what are the handles if they do want to kind of see? Because you dabble a little bit. You're a bit active.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. I don't post about my like day-to-day life. Like today, I went to the mountain with my wife and hiked, but I ain't gonna tell everybody that, you know, because there's already enough nonsense fucking thrown into this world. But you can find me at Darby Allin on Twitter, Darby Allin on Instagram. Don't even bother trying to send me anything on Facebook because that's kind of like. That's like a fucking whole different world over there. Like I don't even go on that. And MySpace, you can find Darby on
MySpace. Oh my god, we're going back. Last quick question: why should people check out Darby Allin and All Elite Wrestling?
Because you're gonna get something from the heart and not from, you know. Of course, everyone gives it from the heart, but I'm saying this is, in wrestling, hasn't been unscripted and creative freedom in forever, and you're gonna get something raw and you're gonna get something unscripted, and it's just gonna be you're gonna tell when we go out there, you're gonna tell it's from the fucking soul and it's not from some creator that's passing down words to say. And the world needs that. The world needs a superhero.
Oh, absolutely. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. And until next time, this is Darby Allin and Petey Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.